Indian, East Indian, and African American, and she works at Princeton, and she has an affiliation with the university in South Africa, and she's filling out their human relations form and trying to figure out what boxes to check for her race.
Yes.
The options were colored, which in South Africa means multiracial.
Okay.
And Asiatic and African. And she's like, oh, don't know what to put.
Yes. That is very limited.
What would you recommend?
Yeah, I find we have the CACFP forms that fill out, and I have many parents who will mark, so it's either Hispanic or non-Hispanic. That they have no issue in. When it comes to the race part, they're like, what are we? Because they don't really consider themselves white.
Right.
They don't consider themselves black. They don't fit into, the Pacific
Asian,
Islander,
right.
American Indian, and so I have multiple parents saying, I don't know how to fill this out. What are we? I'm like, it's whatever you think you are. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Wow.
Yeah, so
right,
that's
because Hispanic is considered an ethnicity and not a race.
Right,
And
yes,
so,
yes, but they don't consider them. They don't see themselves as white or Caucasian.
Right.
But black doesn't fit either, and neither do any of the other ones. So they're always like, well, I don't know what race to.
Is there no other?
I don't know if there is or not. So they're like, I don't know. You need to decide.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's challenging.
Overall, it probably doesn't really. I don't know that anybody ever uses that information for anything. So I mean, in the whole scheme of things, it probably doesn't make a whole lot of difference.
Yeah.
But it does to that parent at that time.
Right.
When they're trying to figure out, what am I?
My husband, my kids are biracial. My husband's African American, so I've always faced this issue. And before it, there was a change in the way they collected census data in around, I don't know, like 2006 or 2007. And before then, you could only check one. You were only allowed to check one. So we always checked black, and because my children are of color, and so we would always check black. And then after there were some changes, you could check multiple boxes, or other. And my husband I would just check black and white. My husband would check other and write human.
Yeah, it does. It does get very complex. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you can only mark one box. I mean, because people are so many different things now. It's how do you decide? Yeah,
it's really artificial.
It is.
And I guess it's not really used as much here, because there's no test data, kind of coming out of here. But I wonder with your granting agencies, if they're collecting racially aggregated data.
I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, so last time, you kind of showed me some examples around the school of the small steps that you're taking, right? So you took pictures of those things. I wonder if for the rest of our time today, you might be able to take some pictures, or we might be able to take some pictures of something that represents some of the challenges that we've discussed, that you can kind of see throughout the school. So, we talked about, challenges from within and challenges from without. Can you think of things that we could use to visually represent some of those challenges?
I know I'm having a difficult time.
I mean, maybe it might be
visualize or how to document some of the challenges.
particular spaces in the school that you feel like kind of exemplify some of those challenges that I mean, I know it's kind of an abstract way to think about it, you know, and are there spaces that you feel like you're kind of really working on addressing these challenges, or maybe even just forms? Would there be forms that would represent some of these challenges?
Probably 7. I'm thinking of this bulletin board over here. While we've made progress, not everything that we have access to is available in both languages. I mean, and even some of the things like getting the menu translated.
Oh, wow.
Would be time consuming. You know, I've got to, but you know, at some point it should be, but right now it's not.
It's a great example. You can take a picture of that.
Yes.
You can take a picture of that bulletin board again, so it's, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and even my back to school night, it's not in Spanish. It's, the words are only in English. So, you know, once again, just myself becoming more cognizant of needing to do that. We did do a parent night in August, and we made little passports, and they would go to each of the classrooms, and they would get a little punch on their passport, and so we had them in. We had some that were in English and some that were in Spanish, so that parents could pick whichever they wanted. So this time we have a passport again for this month, but English and Spanish is together, and the Spanish is first, and then the English. So making
Do you
progress.
have a picture of the passports?
I see. I have a copy of the. I have a copy of the new one. I don't know if do you want a copy of the new one? Of the latest one that has English and Spanish? Instead of having two separate? Because the first week. Okay. Let me see if I can find that.
While you do that.